Today we are going to be talking about the reticular activating system and how it can help or hinder your reality creation journey and how to rewire this filter that shapes your world. And we are going to be doing some compassion key clearing on this theme at the end of the video, so please stick around for that. I'm Melissa, creator of Quantum Creation and the Compassion Key Master Facilitator behind this channel. Today we're going to explore how your brain is the filter for reality and the reticular activating system that's behind that, how it plays a crucial role in what you experience, and how you can begin to consciously rewire it to support your highest vision. If you enjoy this topic, please like and subscribe and share your thoughts, because this encourages the platform to offer this content to more people for whom this might be exactly what they need to hear. Located in the brainstem, the reticular activating system is a network of neurons responsible for filtering the sensory input and determining what information reaches our conscious awareness. Experts estimate that you are exposed to about 11 million bits of information per second, but that your conscious mind can only process around 40. The reticular activating system is the thing that decides which 40 bits of information you consider. 11 million to 40. That's 40. So you're really filtering out a lot. This filter operates based on what you believe, what's familiar, and what you are consciously and unconsciously focused on. Have you ever had the experience where you're thinking about a specific thing, a certain kind of dog, a person, a color, and suddenly it starts showing up everywhere? It's always been there. It's just that your reticular activating system was filtering it out before. So let me give you a few more examples. You buy a car, and suddenly that exact make, model, and color is all over the road. You decide that you're interested in spiritual growth, and now your feed, your conversations, your bookstore visits are full of synchronicities. That is a psychoneurological process at work. That's the reticular activating system doing its job. This system is like a sacred gatekeeper between your subconscious mind and your conscious awareness. Its job is to filter the infinite amount of data around you and serve up only what it thinks is relevant to you at any moment. It decides what's relevant by repetition, emotional intensity, and dominant identity. And it's totally neutral. It doesn't care if what you're focused on is empowering or limiting, helpful or harmful. This system's role isn't to help you thrive. It's to help you survive. And it normalizes what you're already accepting as true. So yes, it will hide opportunities, loving people, easeful paths, if those things don't match your filter. This is why changing your mind is not just mindset. It involves extensive neural entrainment, because what you believe you are, your brain will find evidence to prove. So if you want to manifest differently, create differently, live differently, you have to install within your reticular activating system a whole new filter. And that begins with noticing your inner storyline, noticing where your attention goes, intervening on your own behalf to interrupt the repetition of unwanted patterns, and anchoring in a new self-concept through an intentional revision practice and mental discipline. Your reticular activating system doesn't care if you're visualizing abundance or replaying fear. It simply shows you what aligns with your dominant identity, focus, and emotional tone. This is why you need to take a multi-pronged approach in addition to affirmations work. If you're subconscious sense of self is still deeply entangled with, I'm not good enough, nothing ever works, no one cares, and it's just going to end up the same, that becomes the reticular activating system's task to show you. So what happens is you'll keep noticing other people who struggle the same way you do. You'll watch them go through failure and rejection and lack and half-hearted attempts at change, while your awareness passes over or dismisses people that don't match your current filter. Or it might explain contrary evidence away, saying things like, oh, well, that person is special, or they have friends in high places, so I could never do that, or they wouldn't want me or want to help me. This is why a strong course of mental discipline and schedule of revisiting energetic coherence practices, along with deep and effective self-concept work, are essential to shifting timelines. Because it was through repetition, emotional intensity, and other formative experiences from childhood that shaped the system's filter, a powerful course of equal and opposite reinforcement and reconditioning is necessary to shift the balance. Yes, this is the real heart of the matter. Early conditioning, emotional imprinting, and repeated messages, which deeply reinforced self-narratives, did actually wire the reticular activating system into multivalent and pervasive imprinting of a particular version of self-perception and way of perceiving and interpreting reality. Although the reticular activating system is in many ways an impartial, neutral, and passive filter, it plays a very active role as a sculptor of your reality, constantly selecting what to highlight and what to hide. It's designed to help you focus, but the way it learns what to focus on is shaped by repetition, emotional charge, and identity alignment. So let's break down how it uses selective attention and selective listening to reinforce its own framework. Your reticular activating system filters billions of bits of sensory and cognitive information down to a manageable stream. What makes the cut? Whatever most aligns with your current self-concept, what you expect to see, what you are open to or expecting to hear, what you assume is true, what you feel is relevant to who you believe you are. This is why someone in a scarcity mindset walks into a room and notices who isn't paying attention to them, while someone who believes they always have to be selling themselves walks into the same room and immediately starts to work the room, right? Networking and passing out business cards. Whereas someone who has a strong sense of self-worth and peace may simply relax and engage in easeful and personable conversations with whoever happens to be around or those they feel naturally drawn to. The external environment is the same, but for each person, it is greatly altered due to their selective attention, sensitivity, and internal filter. Now, here's where it gets really fascinating and a little dangerous. Your reticular activating system operates in a feedback loop. What you believe determines what you notice reinforces what you believe. This loop creates resonance with a particular narrative, which will support your predominant paradigm. This is how a particular self-concept and identity becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's not necessarily that it's your destiny, it is entirely a neurological pattern. Where did this identity get shaped? Typically in the first 7 to 9 years of childhood, when your nervous system was still forming, when your brain waves were consistently operating in deep theta, absorbing everything like a sponge. In those early years, every emotionally intense moment carved a very deep groove. A parent ignoring your needs resulted in you feeling that you're invisible. My voice doesn't matter. No one's here for me. I cannot depend on anyone. Being blamed or punished for something you didn't do or didn't know was wrong creates, I'm not trustworthy. I cannot trust others. No one believes me. I am unprotected. The world isn't safe. Being praised only when performing becomes, I have to prove my worth. I'm only important when I win or achieve. I must win or achieve to get attention. Being criticized and made fun of and spoken to harshly becomes, the world isn't safe. People are mean. My feelings don't matter. I must hide or stay vigilant. And the reticular activating system memorizes this emotional terrain as your baseline. It thinks it's protecting you by maintaining the status quo. We're talking about the reptilian brain pretty much here, right? Showing you more of what matches that early pattern. This system is wired for consistency. And then layer that on top of the brain's negativity bias, the tendency to prioritize potential threats over potential joys. You could receive 10 compliments and 1 criticism, and the reticular activating system will flag the criticism, loop it, amplify it, and fixate on it because it believes that that's what you need to focus on to survive. Now, you may be realizing and seeing how this is happening subtly, obviously, and constantly every day, every hour, every moment in your own life. It's not just shaping your thoughts, your interpretations of others and yourself. It's actually shaping your entire perception of reality and your place in it. So how do we shift this? Watching the mind to begin to see and recognize patterns of thought, self-directed compassion to zero in on and clear the imprints at their roots, and entering the calm knowing state to tap into a deeper wisdom and energy. These practices are so powerful. They gently interrupt the resonance loop, begin to soften the emotional charge, and they allow for the creation of space between stimulus and response. And in that space, a new sense of self can start to emerge. This is also why Compassion Key works so elegantly in synchrony with these other practices. You're witnessing it and feeling it and loving it into release. Through the habit of offering compassion to stuck identities, when you become aware of and encounter them, you loosen the resonant field which feeds the reticular activating system by speaking a new language, which questions and alters your perceptual system. You start to recognize, this no longer fulfills me. I'm not feeling this anymore. I'm observing and considering something new now. And you begin to consciously seek out the new and different and are sensitive to shifts. And your reticular activating system starts to perk up. It begins to let in new signals and new evidence and new experiences, new possibilities that match your updated identity. The good news is that the reticular activating system is trainable. Practices like visualization, affirmations, and future self-embodiment work because they recondition the filter, but only when paired with emotional resonance and repetition and felt sense embodiment and meditation, especially accessing the witness mind and the calm knowing state. Deeply alters the nervous system enough to initiate a neuroplastic reconditioning. When you drop into stillness and coherence, your brain is more receptive to new signals, to difference and change. Compassion dissolves the emotional imprints that have kept your system filter operating on autopilot. It makes space for new information and imprints which are based upon a possibility or the new and change and a different experience and interpretation. You will begin to notice different people, different opportunities, not because the world's changed, but because your internal filter has been cleared of old particles and debris. Because the reticular activating system is the biological mechanism of selective attention, and the quantum field holds in superposition the possibility of infinite potential, your reticular activating system chooses what to place its attention on, thereby determining which aspects from the infinite become real to you. When you're in a state of coherence, you send out a clear signal to the field that you are open to a broader and more expansive perception. And the reticular activating system filters in confirmation of a greater inevitability. This creates feedback resonance. What you radiate, you notice. What you notice becomes real. And we spiral up this way, continually opening to the new, to the more expansive. Practically speaking, you reprogram your reticular activating system through journaling your future self's daily experience. This creates a storyline of inevitability. Practicing mental discipline, as we spoke about before, and entering the calm knowing state, along with continually exposing yourself to affirmations in a variety of brainwave states. Using the compassion key on emotionally charged experiences and the belief messages you internalized as a result. This shifts your filter, and when you shift your filter, you shift your life. Now, let's enter the realm of divine disruption, because there is a phenomenon we might refer to as the descent of grace, which is an auspicious and almost miraculous seeming disruption in the pattern loop. This is a move from purely neurological mechanics into the mystical intelligence of the implicate field. For instance, this video might have popped up in your field serendipitously, and something about it pulled you in. When grace descends, here's what might be happening on multiple levels: psychological, quantum, and spiritual. Maybe you've been consciously or subconsciously longing for a new experience and praying to an unknown, unseen force that you hope hears you, but assume couldn't possibly be listening. Maybe you've done enough internal clearing that a hole opens in the narrative. Perhaps your field is ripe for resonance with something higher, and the universe delivers. Of course, we know the implicate order is always holding multiple possibilities. Even if your reticular activating system has been habitually choosing one thread, a sudden surge of coherence from your soul, the collective, or an external source can actualize a different possibility into form before you, and you can't help but take note. It's as if your higher self says, let's see what you do with this. Let's slip this into the field and see if you notice. Or sometimes, let's shift this right now. It's time. Breaking the loop might appear as an emotional or archetypal disruption, as when emotionally charged moments or symbolically potent events break through the system's filter. Some examples of this might include an unexpected act of deep kindness that touches your heart and makes you sob, a piece of art or music that awakens something ancient and deep inside of you. A dream or synchronicity or deja vu that radically alters your sense of linear time. These disrupt the reticular activating system because they are distinct and different enough that the discerned mismatch becomes the opening for a repatterning. All of these things describe the magic and mystical quality that is referred to as grace, a divine or higher level gift, accompanied by an energetic quality that feels potent and of a different order. Sometimes what comes through isn't something you earned or practiced into being in the traditional sense. It's simply grace. A friend appears at the right moment. A message comes in a dream. A stranger says something that seems unusually pertinent to some information you needed or something that you needed to hear. And it pulses with a different energy that makes you take note. In these moments, you are being repositioned and reentangled, not by choice or action, but by divine invitation and being in the right place at the right time. Something in the quantum field responded to your inner longing or readiness, and a new thread of existence enters the loop. It's a reminder that while practice matters, you are never doing this alone. What's happening in the brain and body neurobiologically when these moments of grace descend? Events like this trigger a dopamine or oxytocin spike, which creates a new neural imprint. Your default mode network momentarily deactivates, allowing a new perception to arise. There is a lighting up of the anterior cingulate cortex, which is the part of the brain associated with emotional regulation and insight. This creates teachable moments. A neuroplastic window opens where change is possible. And the key is really, what do you do next? Quite often, we won't realize the full impact or significance of these moments of grace until much later, after recollection or contemplation. Sometimes it takes years or even decades to connect the dots and fully explore the auspicious realizations which result from grace entering your life. That is how powerful and significant the descent of grace can be. So when you receive a seemingly random gift from the universe, pause and feel it fully. Don't rush. Take a nice deep breath and let it soak your field. Acknowledge it. Something unusual and different and special just happened. This is a moment of new resonance. I'm choosing to acknowledge it and consider it. Offer compassion to the old self, the one who didn't think this was possible, who lived in the loop, who was blinded by forgetfulness and challenging emotions. And bring it into your practice. Let this new thread become familiar. Revisit it, contemplate it, rest in it. Speak it into your field. Your most important job is to begin activating the power to choose what you want that filter to allow in. And then practice being that version of you. Consistently and gently and with compassion and with a continual awareness of the balancing between the heart and the mind that we refer to as coherence. Now, I'd like to move into some compassion key clearings. Not just to shift beliefs, but to start to loosen up and rewrite the perceptual grid that has been shaping your reality. clearing the inner programming that keeps the reticular activating system locked into limitation, and releasing despair and resignation and resistance to change, so we can gently open to the possibility of a descent of grace. So start by taking a nice deep breath, bringing your attention to your heart center and your solar plexus. You may want to place a hand there if it helps you keep your attention there. Closing your eyes. Imagine that you're speaking directly to your own reticular activating system standing right before you. Take a nice deep breath and repeat after me. I'm so sorry you feel like nothing ever changes. I'm so sorry you feel like you're stuck in the same old loop. I'm so sorry you keep seeing and feeling the same things, thinking the same thoughts. I'm so sorry you keep attracting the same kinds of experiences over and over again. I'm so sorry you got used to that and learned to expect it. I'm so sorry it feels like life is against you. I'm so sorry you feel like you're invisible to the blessings you long for. I'm so sorry you're afraid it will never shift. I'm so sorry your mind has been trained to see only limitations. I'm so sorry your nervous system learned that safety means sameness, even when that sameness hurts. I'm so sorry it's been hard to believe that something entirely different could be possible. Okay, just pause for a moment, take a breath. Let's continue on. I'm so sorry you forgot that miracles don't follow logic, they follow resonance. I'm so sorry you didn't realize that you are allowed to resonate with something new. I'm so sorry they told you not to hope too much. I'm so sorry they made you afraid of disappointment. I'm so sorry you thought you had to earn a breakthrough. I'm so sorry you've been afraid to let go of your current identity. I'm so sorry your current identity is no longer serving you. I'm so sorry you've been afraid to surrender to the unknown. I'm so sorry you thought the familiar pain was safer than the unknown. Just take another deep breath. Sense in the body if you feel any shifts. And now we're going to be speaking directly to the reticular activating system. I'm so sorry you trained my brain to scan for what's familiar. I'm so sorry you forgot how to look for beauty, wholeness, and possibility. I'm so sorry your inner vision was distorted by fear and past experience. I'm so sorry your reticular activating system has been set to survive instead of thrive. I'm so sorry your awareness was hijacked by history instead of aligned with potentials. I'm so sorry you thought you had to do this all on your own. I'm so sorry you forgot that grace is real. I'm so sorry you didn't realize that it's already moving toward you. I'm so sorry you didn't know that it only takes one moment to glimpse something higher. I'm so sorry you didn't realize it can be easy to change everything you thought was fixed. I'm so sorry you didn't realize it's safe to see things differently now. I'm so sorry you didn't accept that it's safe to expect something new. I'm so sorry you didn't think you were able to receive grace. I'm so sorry you've been closed off from the more expanded possibilities. I'm so sorry you didn't realize you can open to the unexpected. Now let your breath settle down. Take note of any shifts or changes in your thoughts or your feelings or your body. You might want to spend some time journaling about what came up for you during this clearing session. And pay attention over the next few days to what comes into your field. Allow yourself to open to signs of possibility and what's new and different. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and feel free to share your experience in the comment section below. Your engagement encourages the platform to offer this content to others who might benefit from hearing it. Also in the description box below are links where you can explore several free resources and other ways that you can work with me if you feel so called. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, bye.